All right, we're at Ranger Creek. My new friend Dennis is going to show us around the production area. Take it away, sir.
All right. So everything here is made grain to glass, which means the grain will come in both for the beer and whiskey production. And here at the first stop is where we do the milling, right? So typically we don't even do the mill room in the tour because you don't know exactly how clean it's going to be.
Okay.
Today it's half clean.
Right. So this is top secret stuff, people.
Exactly.
Don't show this video to any of your friends, people. This is top secret.
And so we have two mills, one for the corn, which is a hammer mill, and then a rolling mill for all the other grain that we use, right? And then it gets transferred here through the top over to our mash tuns where the process will kind of continue.
Okay.
We have Micah here who's trying to
Hello.
So we've been here since day one, so some of this equipment just keeps kind of getting added over the years, right? Key to point out, this is a mash tun for our beer over on this side, so we make everything 900 gallons at a time, 30 barrel system. All the beer equipment is going to be on the right. We'll walk back here. Just have a little bit of water, so just be careful.
If I fall, we'll blame it on the flight you gave me.
Oh yeah, there you go. And then we have the whiskey production over on this side. So this is the mash tun for our whiskey. And then the fermenters for the whiskeys over there. And then we have two stills for our whiskey production.
Well, this is a much smaller space than I expected it to be. I mean, I guess maybe it's because I'm from Kentucky and I drive past Bardstown, and they've got the huge rack houses, you know, and they make, I mean, I don't know, they make 40 million gallons a week or whatever they do. I don't know. So maybe that's my...
It's, if you have that as a reference, then...
this is small.
This would be very small.
Yeah.
Honestly, most distilleries, this would be small in comparison.
Really? Okay.
It's just on the whiskey side, I mean, like the capital investment to have a large distillery is just massive, right? We built this from the ground, so it's just more of a...
you're busy scaling.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So this is the original column pot still that we got in from Germany when we started on day one. So this is where all kind of award-winning products have been made since then. We twice distill everything, so we have a first run and then a finishing run. And the process takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth it to create, you know, the best quality product. And then we recently added this still, which is our
one second. So when you're enjoying that 36 Texas bourbon, this is where it came from, right here.
This is where it came from, right here.
This is where it came from, right here. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then I was just going to show, this is our new still, which is column still or continuous still, which just allows us to make a lot more product. So
okay.
This is a miniature version of what you see home in Kentucky. Right?
Okay.
It's basically exactly the same, but they just have bigger ones. Right?
Right.
What this allows you to do, you just continuously connect the mash, and then you just can run them all the time. Right? This you load, you run through it, and then you empty it and start over. And very different because these you just end up running all of the time.
So what's up with the portholes, Dennis? I don't know what. Is it? You probably don't call that a porthole, right?
These are just sight glasses, so there's no function beyond just being able to see through it.
Oh, okay.
You can open them for cleaning as well, but like by itself, they don't really have a function.
Okay.
You do have on any column still, you have plates. So you can close or open the plates. If you see here on the left, you have these.
Right. Okay, right there on the left. Yeah.
And if you close the plates, it basically means that the spirit has a lot harder time to travel up through the column still, which should make it more cleaner and more refined. So depending on what type of product you make, you either use the plates closed and open. That's what the columns are for.
Okay. So that way you can kind of control how clear and clean it is as it moves along.
Yeah, exactly. Because the process of making whiskey, right, any whiskey, comes from when we add the steam here to the whiskey, or I'm sorry, to the mash. And when it gets close to a boiling temperature, the alcohols start to travel up, right? They vaporize and start travel up to the column. So depending on like how fine you want those, that's how you use the plates for. So for instance, if you're gonna make a vodka, which we don't really do, you would close all of the plates to get a more refined, high-proof spirit, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'd have taters in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You could use whatever you want for that, right?
Right.
And during COVID, we actually made a lot of hand sanitizer on this still.
Oh, okay.
That we just donated locally. We got 2 more stops, so we'll go real brief by our smoker that we have, and then we'll end up in the rack house at the end.
Excellent. Thank you. So we're going outside. Looks like they've got you got a huge, I didn't even realize this was out here, Dennis.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, this is a great event space too. Oh wow, I didn't even know it was out here.
Sky Trooper is our smoker. I can't open him up today because it's kind of blocked. But all of the smoking happens in there for the beers that we use smoke grain for, and for our whiskeys that we use.
Okay. All right.
And then
It's a great space, man.
the difference of making whiskey in an industrial park, at least when you get started, is we use shipping containers. So this is actually our first rack house.
Okay.
Technically,
Right.
this baby right here. My dad helped build the racks inside of it. And if you think about the heat here in the Texas summer, right?
Right.
It gets up to 130 degrees.
It's got to be at least 130,
so
right?
aging happens quickly.
Right. There's no messing around.
Definitely not. When you walk in there, I mean, you get it in your face. You
Right.
can hardly stay in there.
Like stepping into an attic.
Yeah. It's pretty intense.
Now this looks vaguely familiar to my, from Kentucky brain. You know what I mean?
It's quite similar, right? As long as you have barrels, you want them to be exposed to the elements, and that's what we do here. So there's no climate control or anything. When it gets hot, we want our barrels to get hot, right? And as they would explain on those tours, as warmer it gets, you increase the pressure inside the barrel, pushing the whiskey out into the wood, right? The wood works like a charcoal pit, so it cleans the spirit out, it gives it all of its color, and a lot of the flavor comes from the actual wood itself. So we're just stoked about doing that here in Texas because, again, it gets hot all the time, right? So it helps with the aging process. And this is like our test rack house, so you see a lot of kind of one-off products in here.
Right, I see Big Mike's bib, I see some notes on them, bourbon mash number 2.
So this is actually Bottle and Bond. It's one of our
Bottle and Bond, oh, okay.
Yeah. And we have a couple of Bottle and Bond products coming out. Again, this was recently filled, so you got to wait at least 3 years for this one.
Well, there's a single malt right there, so if you buy one of those somewhere in the future, it came from that barrel.
That's possible.
Yeah.
And here we have some on our tours, like we have tours tomorrow, for instance. People come by and they fill their own bottle. And that would happen here. So this is the current selection that we have. We have a blend. We have this is an aged rum. We have a Queen Share bourbon and Whiskey Club aged rum. So a couple of interesting options.
So do you do any, because it seems like to me, but only some portion, only the bourbon on the outside of it would go in and out of the, do you have to move the barrel around a little bit to slosh it? Does that make any sense?
Not really.
Okay.
No. You can think about it as far as how full it is, right?
Right.
If you want to oxidize it or leave a little more room, so that makes a difference. But beyond that, I would just say that it makes a difference where in the rack house you put it. So again, this is a small rack house, especially compared to Kentucky, right? But we get a 20% degree difference between the top up on this side and the bottom on this side. So if you take that over a few years, you get quite a bit different product just from the different aging.
In the same building, just 10 or 15, 20
same
feet?
Product.
Right.
Just,
10 or 15 feet? Yeah, one's on the floor, one's up there, and you get a different...
It tastes different, let's say 3 years later.
Wow, that's fascinating. Now, do you rotate them? Like the one, they'll start on the bottom, it sits there for 2 weeks or whatever, then you move it up, 2 more weeks.
You want to try and move on?
No, I don't. No. That was going to be my next question. How do you do that?
So what we do to get a consistent product, when we bottle, we take some barrels from one part of the rack house, some barrels from another part, and when we bat them together, we get like a...
Oh, okay. That's the blended point of it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Blended is when you do it from different distilleries. Vatted is when you do it within your distillery.
Okay.
Same process. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fascinating. Wow, that's
The difference,
pretty cool.
I guess, to connect this back to the beer side, like when we do a bourbon barrel aged program, we're not going to age it in the heat, right? That's a little bit too much for the beer. So it will actually be an AC controlled part of the building. But for the whiskey, again, you want any part of the heat that you can get.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, this is beautiful, and I know you got things to do. I appreciate your time, Dennis. You've been a great host, man. Thank you very much, sir.
Great. Well, it's been great to meet you guys.
Yep, and we're going to go have a beer and buy a bottle, and whatever you do, be sure to check out Ranger Creek Brewing and Distillery.
All right, cheers.